With great power comes great responsibility. You've probably heard this quote from Spider-Man, but what if that power isn't just super strength? What if it's your personality, your energy, your presence since birth? Some people are born different. They feel deeply, think deeply, and act like they've been sent here for something special. But here's the twist. Being different can go two ways. You might be a chosen one, someone who carries light and healing, or you might be a narcissist, someone who seeks attention and power, but for the wrong reasons. The scary part, both paths can start with similar signs. That's why today's video is super important. We're going to break down 7 signs that might reveal which one you are. And some of these signs showed up when you were just a little kid. So if you've ever felt misunderstood, powerful, emotional, or even like the world just doesn't get you, you need to stay with me till the very end, because what you find out might surprise you. And hey, so this isn't just about watching. Let's build a safe space together. Show some love by hitting like. And if you're someone who feels deeply and wants to grow spiritually, emotionally, or just get real, join our community by subscribing. We talk about real stuff here, stuff that can heal, help, or just make you feel seen. So grab a snack, relax, and let's find out. Were you born to shine or born to dominate? Either way, your truth starts now. Some people are born with a different kind of light inside them. It's not something they choose or even understand right away. From a very young age, they act, think, and feel differently than those around them. Maybe they don't talk much, but when they do, their words feel deep. Maybe they enjoy being alone, lost in thoughts, while others are out playing. Maybe they care too much about others, or they notice things no one else sees, like when someone is sad, even if they're smiling. These kids are often seen as weird or too sensitive by others, but deep down, they just feel different. This is what we call being born different. Not better, not worse, just set apart. But here's the part that gets tricky. Some children also grow up craving attention, not because they're full of light, but because they want to be the light in every room. They don't want to be ignored. They want to be praised, admired, and followed. This doesn't make them bad, but it can become dangerous if it turns into pride, selfishness, or a need to always be on top. These people might grow up learning how to wear a mask, pretending to care when it helps them, acting kind when people are watching, but deep down, it's all about them. This is where the line gets blurry. Were they misunderstood, or were they misleading all along? Some are chosen to carry a light that helps others, while others just want to shine for themselves. And the truth is, both kinds of people often act the same at first. That's why so many get confused. They both stand out, they both get attention, and they both carry strong energy. But the real difference shows over time, when hard times hit, when no one is watching, when there's nothing to gain. That's when the true heart is revealed. Being born different is not about being better. It's about how you use what you've been given. Will your presence bring healing or harm? The answer lies in your heart, not your words. Some people walk into a room and naturally draw attention. It's not because they're trying too hard. There's just something about them. Maybe it's the way they speak, the calm in their voice, or how they look into your eyes like they see more than most. These people often carry a quiet strength, like they know something deeper about life. These are the chosen ones, not chosen by fame or fortune, but by purpose. Their light doesn't flash, it glows, it brings peace, healing, and understanding, even without words. They don't try to shine, they just do because their light comes from the inside. But there's another kind of shine that can trick people. The kind that looks bright on the outside but is empty inside. This is what narcissists often reflect. Their glow is loud, showy, and meant to impress. They often speak with great confidence, but not always with wisdom. They crave praise, not connection. They want to be admired, not understood. Instead of sharing light, they reflect illusions, fake images of who they want you to believe they are. And sadly, many people fall for it, because on the surface, Confidence can look just like clarity, but confidence isn't always a sign of truth. And standing out doesn't always mean someone is spiritually awakened. Some stand out because they are ready to serve others. Others stand out because they want to be served. The difference? A chosen one walks with purpose, even when no one is watching. A narcissist performs with purpose, only when someone is watching. So how do you tell the difference? Look deeper. Don't be fooled by the noise, the charm, or the shine. Real light feels safe. It warms, it comforts, and it guides. Illusions only distract. And in time, the truth always shows. From the outside, it can be hard to tell. A child who speaks with confidence, leads others, and always seems to have the answers. Are they walking in divine purpose, or are they learning to protect a powerful ego? The line is thin, the signs are loud, and they often show up when we're too young to even understand them. Some people are born with a strong sense of who they are. As children, they ask deep questions, feel emotions strongly, and seem wise beyond their years. They might stand up for others, notice when someone is hurting, or sit quietly with someone who feels left out. These are not small things, these are early signs of someone carrying a divine purpose, a quiet mission that moves through them without them even trying. They don't need the spotlight, they just do what feels right. But here's where things get tricky. There are others who also shine brightly. At a young age, they speak well. They know how to get attention. They learn early how to be charming, how to make people like them, and how to always stay in control. It may look like confidence, but it's often a shield, a way to protect a powerful ego. They want to be the best, not to serve, but to be seen. They might cry when things don't go their way or push others down just to stay on top. It might seem small at first, but these patterns grow, and that's why the line is so thin. Both types of people may speak with power. Both may lead, both may be praised, but the heart behind it all is different. The chosen ones walk with purpose, they lift others, they feel deeply, and their strength is quiet but steady. Narcissists, on the other hand, walk with performance. They know what to say and do to stay admired, but their actions often have hidden motives. What's shocking is how early these signs appear. Sometimes before we even know the meaning of ego or purpose. A chosen one might comfort a crying friend, even if it means missing recess. A narcissist might fake kindness when the teacher is watching, only to turn cold when no one is around. These small choices build over time, shaping who we become. So pay attention to the signs, not the shine. Look at how people treat others when there's nothing to gain. That's where truth lives, because divine purpose doesn't need applause, and ego doesn't survive without it. The signs are loud, we just have to listen. Some kids don't wait until they grow up to start asking big questions. Even before they can spell reality, they're already questioning it. Why are things the way they are? Why do people lie? Why does love hurt sometimes? Why do I feel like I'm not from here? These children are often misunderstood. Adults call them too curious, too sensitive, or too intense. But this deep curiosity isn't just normal, it's a powerful sign. These are the children who may be chosen ones. Souls who are naturally drawn to the unseen, the spiritual, the hidden truths that most people ignore. They aren't satisfied with surface answers. They want to go deeper, they want to know what's real. From a young age, chosen ones often feel like something isn't quite right about the world. They see beyond the masks people wear. They notice unfairness that others accept. They question everything. Not to be annoying, but because they're searching. Their questions come from the heart. They're not trying to win arguments. They're trying to understand the soul of things. They're trying to remember something bigger, something their spirit already knows. But not everyone who questions is searching for truth. Some children also question everything, but their reasons are different. Narcissists in the making don't question to understand, they question to control, to challenge, to bend the rules to fit their own desires. These children often dislike being told what to do, not because the rules are unfair, but because the rules don't serve them. They ask, why? Not with wonder, but with resistance. They want power, not wisdom. The difference can be subtle, that's what makes it tricky. Both types ask questions, both push back, both stand out, but the energy behind it is not the same. A chosen one questions reality because something inside them knows there's more. A narcissist questions reality because they want to rewrite it for their own gain. So if you were the kind of child who always looked up at the stars and felt something stir inside, and if you questioned life not just with your mind but with your soul, you weren't being difficult. You were remembering who you are, and that's a light no ego can fake. Some children seem to carry the weight of the world in their eyes. They may not say much, but they feel everything. If someone in the room is upset, they sense it. If another child is crying, they don't just see tears, they feel the sadness as if it were their own. These children don't need to be told when something is wrong. Their hearts already know. This is the quiet, powerful sign of a chosen one. Someone born with deep emotional intelligence. Not just smart in the mind, but wise in the soul. Even before they understand words like empathy or compassion, they show it. They may sit beside someone who's alone without being asked. They may cry during a sad movie even when others laugh. They may get overwhelmed in loud, emotional spaces. Not because they're weak, but because they absorb everything around them. Their gift is feeling deeply and truly, even if they don't yet have the words to explain it. This sensitivity isn't a flaw, it's a signal, a sign that they were made to connect with others, to understand pain, and to help heal it. It may make life harder sometimes, but it also gives them a rare strength, the kind that lifts others without needing credit. On the other hand, there are children who learn how to read emotions, not to connect, but to control. These are the early traits of a narcissist. They may act kind when it's useful, they may show concern when adults are watching, but if there's no reward, their interest disappears. Their connection to others' feelings isn't natural, it's calculated. They don't feel the pain of others unless that pain affects them. They might copy empathy, but they don't carry it. This is the difference. A chosen one feels with their heart, even when it hurts. A narcissist acts with their ego, even when it looks like love. So if, as a child, you cried for someone else's pain, if your mood changed when someone near you was suffering, if you tried to comfort others, even when you didn't know how, that wasn't weakness. That was your gift, showing early. You were never too sensitive, you were simply tuned in to something most people miss. And that kind of heart can light up the darkest places. Just see tears. They feel the sadness as if it were their own. These children don't need to be told when something is wrong. Their hearts already know. This is the quiet, powerful sign of a chosen one. Someone born with deep emotional intelligence. Not just smart in the mind, but wise in the soul. Even before they understand words like empathy or compassion, they show it. They may sit beside someone who's alone without being asked. They may cry during a sad movie, even when others laugh. They may get overwhelmed in loud, emotional spaces, not because they're weak, but because they absorb everything around them. Their gift is feeling deeply and truly, even if they don't yet have the words to explain it. This sensitivity isn't a flaw, it's a signal, a sign that they were made to connect with others, to understand pain, and to help heal it. It may make life harder sometimes, but it also gives them a rare strength, the kind that lifts others without needing credit. On the other hand, there are children who learn how to read emotions, not to connect, but to control. These are the early traits of a narcissist. They may act kind when it's useful. They may show concern when adults are watching, but if there's no reward, their interest disappears. Their connection to others' feelings isn't natural. It's calculated. They don't feel the pain of others unless that pain affects them. They might copy empathy, but they don't carry it. This is the difference. A chosen one feels with their heart, even when it hurts. A narcissist acts with their ego, even when it looks like love. So if, as a child, you cried for someone else's pain, If your mood changed when someone near you was suffering, if you tried to comfort others even when you didn't know how, that wasn't weakness. That was your gift showing early. You were never too sensitive. You were simply tuned in to something most people miss, and that kind of heart can light up the darkest places. Some kids are loud, some want all eyes on them. But then there are the quiet ones, not shy, not scared, just different. These are the children who sneak away from the crowd to sit under a tree, stare at the sky, or play alone with their thoughts. They don't need a stage, they don't want to be clapped for. What they truly crave is something deeper. Peace. If this sounds like you, it might be a quiet sign you were one of the chosen ones. Chosen ones often need time alone, not because they're sad or distant, but because the noise of the world feels heavy. They feel everything more deeply, so they need space to breathe, to process, and to listen to their own heart. Crowds can feel overwhelming. Attention can feel exhausting. But give them a quiet corner and they'll feel at home. In that stillness, they don't feel lonely. They feel alive. While others chase the spotlight, chosen ones chase the stillness. They don't need to be praised to know their worth. They don't need likes, followers, or cheers. Their power comes from within, and they protect it like something sacred. But not all who seek attention are insecure, and not all who stand out are wise. Narcissists also feel a strong pull, but it's in the opposite direction. They don't recharge in solitude, they starve in it. When there's no one watching, no one praising, no one admiring, they feel empty. Their confidence often depends on attention. Even in silence, they secretly hope someone is watching. They may act quiet, but inside, they're craving applause. The difference is subtle, but strong. A chosen one disappears to reconnect. A narcissist disappears to plan their next entrance. So if, even as a child, you felt comfort in quiet moments, if you found magic in your own company, if you loved the sound of your thoughts more than the sound of your name being called, you weren't missing out. You were tuning in. In a world addicted to noise and applause, your love for solitude wasn't strange. It was sacred. It was your spirit saying, "This is where I hear truth best." And that's something no spotlight can ever give. From an early age, some children can't help but notice when something isn't right. They see the small unfairnesses that others overlook, the way someone is treated differently because of their skin color, the way a friend is ignored by a group, or the way someone is punished for something they didn't do. It bothers them deeply. They might not know how to fix it, but they feel it. Their hearts ache for those who are wronged, and they don't turn away from injustice. They want to understand it, to heal it, to make it right. This is the sign of a chosen one, someone born with a deep sense of fairness and truth. These individuals don't just care about their own world, they care about the world of others. They don't walk through life with blinders on, only focused on themselves. They can't ignore the suffering around them. It's as if they have a built-in compass for what's right and wrong, and they're always aware when that balance is disturbed. The chosen ones are natural truth seekers. They're drawn to causes, to justice, to standing up for those who can't speak for themselves. Whether it's in small, everyday moments or larger global issues, they feel compelled to act. They might not always have the power or the voice to make a change, but that burning desire to set things right never fades. It stays with them, even when they grow older. But then there are those who also notice injustice, but only when it affects them. These are the children who are deeply upset when things don't go their way, but indifferent or even cruel when someone else is in pain. Their anger isn't about fairness, it's about their own comfort, their own reputation, or their own desires. If a rule doesn't serve them, they see it as a problem. If they're wronged, they demand justice. But if someone else is hurt, they turn a blind eye. These are the early signs of a narcissist. Their sense of fairness is selective. They only care about injustice when it personally impacts them. Their compassion isn't widespread, it's selfish. So if, as a child, You felt your stomach twist when you saw someone being treated unfairly. If you spoke up when others stayed quiet, even when it was hard. If you cared about the world around you and felt the weight of injustice like it was your own, you weren't just being emotional. You were showing the heart of someone who sees the truth and who is here to make the world a little more fair. Because the chosen ones don't turn away from injustice. They face it head on. And that's a power that can change the world. There are those who chase fame, popularity, and the approval of others. They live for the rush of attention, always seeking the next trend, the next big thing, or the next chance to be seen. But then there are those who don't care about being in the spotlight. Instead, they seek something deeper, something that can't be touched, bought, or seen. They are drawn to the mysteries of life, to the unseen forces that shape the world. While others talk about the latest gossip or the trendiest fashion, these individuals are quietly searching for meaning, for purpose, for connection with something greater than themselves. This is the hallmark of a chosen one, someone who finds comfort in the spiritual realm, who feels an innate pull toward the mystical and the unseen. From a young age, they might have been fascinated by questions about life's purpose, the nature of the soul, or the energy that binds everything together. They weren't interested in fitting in or impressing others. Instead, they were looking for a deeper understanding, a connection with something beyond the physical world. Chosen ones often gravitate towards spiritual practices, whether through religion, meditation, nature, or a personal connection to the universe. They might not always have the words to explain it, but they feel a calling, a whisper from within, guiding them toward a path of inner peace, growth, and enlightenment. For them, spirituality isn't a trend or a way to gain status, it's a way of life. It's a sacred space where they can grow, heal, and connect with their higher self. However, not everyone who explores spirituality does so for the right reasons. Some are drawn to it not because they seek truth or inner peace, but because they see it as a tool for status, power, or validation. These are the narcissist individuals who use spirituality as a means to appear superior or special. They may adopt spiritual practices, use religious language, or claim to have deep mystical knowledge, but their true motivation is not enlightenment, it's attention. Narcissists may seek the appearance of wisdom, donning a spiritual persona to make themselves seem more enlightened than others. They use spirituality as a badge, a way to set themselves apart from the crowd. They want to be seen as more evolved, more awakened, or more connected than anyone else. But beneath that surface, it's not about truth or growth. It's about ego, control, and manipulation. So, if you've always found yourself more intrigued by the mysteries of the universe than by the latest gossip or social trend, if you've felt a deeper calling to connect with something greater than yourself, then it's not just a coincidence. Your soul is seeking a higher truth. You're not interested in popularity. You're interested in meaning, in connection, and in understanding the unseen forces that shape our lives. The chosen ones are not interested in being seen. They're interested in seeing the world through spiritual eyes. And that quiet, humble search for truth is where true power lies. From a young age, there's often a feeling that can't be explained. A sense of having a purpose, a mission, or a calling that feels like it's always been there, even before you knew what it meant. It's not something loud or flashy, and it doesn't come with a list of tasks. It's more like a quiet whisper from within, a deep pull that guides you through life. You might not know exactly what it is, but you feel compelled to serve, to help, or to uplift others in some way. This feeling isn't driven by fame or recognition. It's driven by a deep desire to make a difference, to do something meaningful in the world. It's a sense that you are here for a reason, and that the world is waiting for you to answer that call, even if you don't have all the answers yet. This is the essence of a chosen one. They may not have a clear path laid out before them, but they are constantly guided by an inner knowing that they are part of something bigger. It's not about personal gain or accolades. It's about a quiet, persistent drive to serve others, to heal, to inspire, or to make the world a better place. It's a calling that stays with them throughout life, even if they don't fully understand it at first. The mission might take different forms. Maybe it's through helping people, creating art, or even just offering a listening ear to those in need. But no matter what it looks like, the chosen one is always seeking ways to uplift others and contribute to the world around them. But there's another side to this feeling of having a mission, and that's where narcissism comes in. Narcissists also feel they have a mission in life, but it's very different. While the chosen ones are driven by a desire to serve and uplift others, narcissists are driven by a need to prove themselves. They don't have an inner pull to help. They have a need to validate their own worth. Their mission is about gaining approval, receiving praise, and being seen as important or superior. The difference is clear. The chosen one's mission is selfless. The narcissist's mission is self-serving. Narcissists might chase their mission through fame, power, or influence, but the goal is always the same: to prove that they are worthy, that they are special, and that they deserve admiration. Their mission is not about giving, it's about taking. It's about filling the emptiness inside with external validation. So if you've ever felt like you were meant to do something greater than yourself, even before you knew exactly what that was, then you're probably on the path of the chosen ones. Your mission is not about proving anything to anyone. It's about answering the quiet pull within to make a difference in the world, to uplift others, and to serve with humility. And even when the path is unclear, that inner drive will always lead you forward, guiding you to a purpose that's bigger than you. As children, many of us are taught to avoid pain. Pain is something to be feared, something that must be escaped. However, for some, pain isn't something to run from. It's something that shapes them. For these individuals, it's through pain that they learn, grow, and ultimately transform into stronger versions of themselves. They don't see suffering as a punishment, but as a teacher. It's through the struggles and heartaches of life that they gain wisdom, understanding, and resilience. Pain, to them, is not a sign of weakness, but a powerful catalyst for change. This is the hallmark of a chosen one. They have faced hardship and adversity, yet instead of becoming bitter or broken, they emerge from it more grounded and more enlightened. The pain they experience becomes the soil in which their wisdom grows. The lessons learned in the darkest moments are often the ones that stick with them the most. They don't shy away from suffering, but instead, they embrace it as part of their spiritual journey. It is through these trials that they discover their true strength, and from this strength they rise to a higher level of understanding and compassion for others. The chosen ones are transformed by their suffering. Each challenge they face becomes an opportunity to grow, and as they grow, they become more connected to their purpose. They use their pain to fuel their mission, to understand the world around them, and to guide others who may be going through similar struggles. The wisdom gained from their own hardships allows them to empathize deeply with others, making them a beacon of light for those in need. On the other hand, there are those who resist pain at all costs. They run from it, deny it, and blame others when it comes their way. These are the narcissists. Instead of using pain as a lesson, they resent it, avoid responsibility, and look for ways to shift the blame onto someone else. When things go wrong, they don't reflect or grow from the experience. Instead, they deflect, deny, and often create excuses to avoid accountability. They seek to protect their fragile egos at all costs, even if it means refusing to learn from their mistakes. For narcissists, pain is an enemy, not a teacher. It's a threat to their sense of control and superiority, and they'll do anything to avoid facing it. They may lash out, project their pain onto others, or engage in destructive behaviors, but they rarely, if ever, use their suffering as a tool for self-improvement. So if you've ever found that your deepest lessons came from the hardest times in your life, if you've been transformed by your suffering rather than broken by it, then you're likely walking the path of the chosen ones. You see pain as a part of life, and through it, you grow, you learn, you rise, and you use that wisdom to help others do the same. Because unlike the narcissist, you know that true strength doesn't come from avoiding pain, but from learning to move through it with grace, understanding, and the unwavering belief that you are becoming better because of it. From an early age, there are certain people who seem to have an almost supernatural ability to see beyond the surface. It's as if they can look into a person's soul, understanding their true intentions, even if that person is putting on a carefully constructed front. This gift doesn't come from years of experience, but from an innate intuition, the ability to perceive what others are hiding beneath their masks. It's not something that's taught or learned. It's a natural, spiritual gift that some people possess without even knowing how they came to have it. These are the chosen ones, the ones who can intuitively sense when someone is being dishonest, when someone's words don't match their actions, or when there's something unspoken lurking behind the smile. They have an almost sixth sense when it comes to understanding people, their motives, and their hidden agendas. Whether it's a subtle shift in body language, a change in tone, or simply an inner knowing, the chosen ones can cut through the layers of pretense and see the truth. This ability isn't just about being skeptical or distrustful. It's about having a deeper spiritual awareness, a connection to something that allows them to perceive what others can't. For the chosen ones, this ability to discern truth is a gift, one that helps them navigate the world with more wisdom and clarity. It allows them to protect themselves from toxic people, make better decisions, and avoid the traps that others may fall into. It's also what makes them deeply compassionate. They see the pain, fear, and struggles behind the masks people wear, and they feel called to help others heal and grow. But then there are those who don't just see through masks, they wear them. These are the narcissists. Rather than being gifted with discernment, narcissists are experts at manipulating the truth, donning different personas, and hiding their true selves behind a carefully constructed mask. They understand the power of appearances and use their charm, confidence, or calculated vulnerability to deceive others and gain what they want. Unlike the chosen ones, who are compelled by a desire to help and heal, narcissists wear masks to control, to gain admiration, and to manipulate those around them. Narcissists are skilled actors, playing roles that suit their needs. They may pretend to be someone they're not to impress others or to gain something, be it power, affection, or validation. The mask they wear is often an illusion designed to make others believe they are something they're not. And while they may be convincing, there's always something off about their behavior, an underlying sense that something doesn't quite add up. So, if you've always had the ability to read people, to sense when someone is being less than genuine, or if you've felt a deep knowing that the mask someone is wearing isn't real, then you are likely one of the chosen ones. This gift of discernment isn't just a talent, it's a spiritual ability that sets you apart and allows you to navigate the world with clarity and wisdom. And while others may be fooled by the masks people wear, you have the ability to see the truth hidden beneath, a gift that will guide you on your path toward purpose and connection. From the moment you could understand the world around you, there's been an invisible force, a quiet yet undeniable presence that has guided you through life's challenges, choices, and uncertainties. It's not something you can see or touch, but you feel it. It's a feeling of being protected, of being led toward something greater than yourself, whether it's a sudden spark of insight, a deep sense of peace in the midst of chaos, or an inexplicable pull toward a particular direction. This presence is always there, subtly steering you. Even in the darkest times, when the path ahead seemed unclear, you never truly felt alone because you knew deep inside that there was something or someone guiding you, protecting you, and choosing you for a greater purpose. This is the experience of the chosen ones. They often feel a connection to a divine force, an energy or a higher power that is constantly watching over them. It's not just about believing in destiny, it's about feeling chosen by a force that has a plan for them. There's a deep sense that everything that happens in their life, the ups and downs, the struggles and victories, is part of a larger, more significant story. They trust that each step they take, even when it feels uncertain, is part of a greater design, and they are being led with love and purpose. The chosen ones often experience this presence as something nurturing and protective. It's a whisper in their heart, a sense of direction that comes from deep within, often guiding them toward their mission in life. It's not always loud or dramatic. In fact, it's often subtle, but unmistakable in its consistency. It's as if they are being held by something far beyond themselves, always nudging them toward their true purpose. This is the spiritual connection that fuels their drive to serve, to uplift, and to make a positive impact on the world around them. But for those who are more self-centered, the experience of feeling guided can be quite different. These are the narcissists who believe they are destined for greatness, but not because of a divine force or a higher calling. Instead, their sense of being chosen is rooted in their ego. They believe the world revolves around them, that they are special, and that their greatness is inevitable. But unlike the chosen ones, whose sense of purpose comes from a place of humility and service, the narcissist's destiny is often about personal validation and power. Narcissists may feel that they are meant to stand out, to be admired, and to control their surroundings. They may convince themselves that they are chosen for greatness, but this feeling is driven by their desire for recognition, not by a higher calling. Their guidance comes from their ego's voice, and they interpret every success and failure as proof that they are destined to be exceptional. But it's all about them. There is no connection to a larger spiritual purpose, just an internal drive to fulfill their own desires. So, if you've ever felt that quiet, invisible presence guiding you, nudging you toward your true path, not out of ego or desire for personal gain, but out of love and purpose, then you are likely one of the chosen ones. Your path is not about seeking fame or validation, but about fulfilling a higher calling and trusting that everything you need will be provided along the way. And while the narcissist may seek their greatness through their own ego, the chosen ones find peace in the quiet, knowing that they are guided by something far greater. When you walk into a room, do people feel lighter, more hopeful, or even inspired to be their best selves? The presence of some individuals can be transformative. They don't have to say much or do anything extravagant, but just by being in their company, others feel a sense of upliftment. It's as if they carry an aura of peace and positivity that naturally spreads to those around them. The chosen ones are gifted with the ability to heal and awaken the hearts and minds of others. They don't seek validation or recognition for this, but rather their presence is a reflection of their deeper connection to a higher purpose. Their energy nourishes and empowers, leaving people better than they were before they encountered them. The chosen ones seem to have this magnetic quality about them. People feel comfortable around them, and the conversations they have leave others feeling recharged. It's not about the words they speak, but the energy they carry. They seem to possess an almost divine ability to comfort, guide, and heal simply by being who they are. Whether it's a listening ear, an encouraging word, or just a warm presence, they have an undeniable impact on those who cross their path. They inspire others to tap into their own potential and push forward on their journey, whether through subtle encouragement or by leading through example. But not everyone shares this gift. Narcissists, on the other hand, often leave a draining effect on others. Instead of uplifting, they use people for their own gain, leaving them confused, exhausted, or feeling unappreciated. Narcissists often have a way of manipulating situations to center themselves in the spotlight, but at the cost of others' well-being. Their presence can make people feel emotionally drained, as if their energy is being siphoned off, leaving them feeling worn out, confused, or unworthy. Unlike the chosen ones, who empower and awaken others to their higher selves, narcissists are more likely to confuse those around them. One minute, they might charm someone with their charisma, and the next, they might be pushing them down with criticism or emotional manipulation. This inconsistency in their behavior creates instability in relationships, leaving people unsure of where they stand or whether they can trust their intentions. Over time, this causes those around them to feel emotionally depleted, questioning their own worth and feeling disconnected from their true selves. In contrast, the chosen ones build authentic connections, grounding people in their own power. They inspire growth and understanding, leaving a lasting, positive impact wherever they go. Narcissists, however, may have a much different legacy, one of manipulation and self-interest, leaving a wake of emotional confusion in their path. The difference between these two types of individuals comes down to intention. One seeks to uplift and serve, while the other seeks to use and control. So, if you're the kind of person who leaves a room feeling calm, empowered, and renewed, it's likely that you are walking the path of the chosen ones. Your presence serves to uplift others, guiding them toward their highest potential. And if you've ever found yourself surrounded by people who drain your energy or leave you feeling lost and confused, you may have encountered a narcissist whose presence ultimately serves to fulfill their own needs, often at the expense of others. There's no middle ground here. You either heal or you hurt. You either uplift or you use. And the path of the chosen ones is always one of growth and empowerment for both themselves and those around them. In life, there are two powerful forces constantly at play: spiritual purpose and ego purpose. These two forces pull us in different directions and shape our motivations, actions, and ultimately, the life we create for ourselves. The way we answer a fundamental question, do we want to elevate others or elevate ourselves, determines whether we walk the path of the chosen ones or fall into the grasp of ego-driven behaviors. Spiritual purpose. Elevating others. At its core, spiritual purpose is about selflessness. It's the deep inner knowing that your life is not just for you. It's part of a greater plan, and that plan is about helping others. The chosen ones are naturally attuned to the world around them, understanding that their gifts, their time, and their energy are meant to be shared for the benefit of the collective. Their purpose is not about personal glory, but about uplifting those around them and guiding them toward higher truths. This kind of purpose requires immense humility. The chosen ones understand that they are merely vessels through which higher wisdom flows. They may not always be recognized for their contributions, and they often don't seek recognition in the first place. What drives them is the desire to serve, to help others awaken, to heal the broken, and to make the world a better place. Their motivation comes from a deep spiritual calling that says, "I am here to serve, to love, and to bring light into dark places." A person walking in spiritual purpose is less concerned with their own advancement. They understand that by lifting others, they lift themselves too. Their actions are rooted in love, compassion, and truth. They are often drawn to help those in need, not for the satisfaction of personal gain, but because they feel an innate calling to do so. Whether they are teachers, healers, leaders, or simply listeners, the chosen ones make a positive impact by being vessels of spiritual energy. They transcend ego, moving beyond their individual desires to focus on the greater good. Your destiny isn't a roadmap handed to you by others. It's a path you uncover through your own experiences, insights, and growth. For many, the world's expectations, societal norms, and the voices of others can cloud the truth of who they are and what they are meant to do. We are often told what success looks like, what our purpose should be, and how we should live our lives. But the true chosen ones know a different truth. Your destiny is discovered from within, not dictated by the world around you. In a world where external validation is often the driving force behind our actions, it's easy to lose sight of our own inner calling. We may follow a path that others set for us, a career, a relationship, or a lifestyle, only to realize that it doesn't feel fulfilling or authentic. This is where self-awareness comes in. To truly understand who you are and what your destiny is, you must first look within. The answers are always inside you, waiting to be uncovered. The chosen ones are those who embark on the journey of self-healing. They don't rely on external sources to define their worth or purpose. Instead, they seek to heal themselves first, understanding that true growth begins from within. They recognize that in order to fulfill their higher purpose, they must first break free from the limitations imposed by their past, their doubts, and their fears. They work through their inner struggles, challenges, and traumas, not because they want to escape them, but because they know that healing is the key to unlocking their true potential. Healing isn't just about fixing broken parts of ourselves, it's about reconnecting with the deepest parts of our being and rediscovering who we truly are. It's about reclaiming our power and recognizing that we are worthy of living the life we were born to lead. The chosen ones understand that to heal is to empower themselves to step into their destiny, to live with intention, and to make a lasting impact on the world. Their healing journey is not just personal, it's a collective healing that benefits everyone they encounter. But this process of discovery isn't always easy. It requires honesty and vulnerability. It means facing the parts of ourselves we've been avoiding, confronting the lies we've been told about who we are, and peeling back the layers of conditioning that have been placed on us since birth. To discover your true destiny, you must be willing to let go of the illusions that have kept you stuck in a life that doesn't resonate with your soul. The misled often stay trapped in these illusions, convinced that they must live according to someone else's idea of success or happiness. They are driven by the need for external approval, seeking validation from the world rather than from within. They may achieve success in the eyes of others, but it's an empty success. Their hearts remain unfulfilled because they are not living in alignment with their true calling. In contrast, the chosen ones are those who understand that their destiny isn't something to be handed to them or achieved through external recognition. It's something that is found through inner awakening and alignment. They understand that true fulfillment comes not from what the world tells them to be, but from discovering their authentic self. They may face challenges, they may encounter setbacks, but they know that these are part of the journey. They trust that each step brings them closer to their true purpose. So how do you start discovering your own destiny? The first step is self-awareness. Look within and ask yourself, who am I really? And what am I meant to do with my life? Start to break free from the expectations others have placed on you and listen to your inner voice. Pay attention to the things that bring you joy, the moments that spark your soul, and the feelings that align with your deepest values. As you heal and reconnect with yourself, your true destiny will begin to reveal itself. You'll discover that your purpose was never outside of you, it was always within. The chosen ones heal themselves first because they understand that the journey to their destiny is one of self-discovery and empowerment. Once they've healed and aligned with their inner truth, they are ready to step into their true purpose and make a profound impact on the world. They are not just living for themselves, they are living for something greater. They know that their destiny isn't a destination, it's a journey of continuous growth, healing, and evolution. And this journey is one that only they can walk. The true test of your birthright lies in your answer. Your soul's purpose is not to take from the world, but to give back to it, to uplift others,